Who's that?
Your face.
What was I doing?
We're live, y'all. You made a face.
I was going. That's terrible.
Howdy.
Hi, y'all.
Good work, Warren.
Hi, Warren.
Way to keep on top of it. Who else is out there? Say hello.
Cynthia? Do you go by Cindy or Cynthia? If you're there, maybe she's not there. Could you be there? You know,
Counselor.
Counselor. Yeah. We like movie trivia.
Ben Johnson. Hey.
Hi, Ben.
What's up? Counselor.
Ayo, Polly. Polly. Wait, no.
Internet.
That's Adrian.
MoFi. Oh, another MoFi person.
Ferris Bueller.
Bueller.
Hi, Mom Shirley.
Oh, the counselor.
Hi, Alan.
Could you be there? Is the new Cape Fear.
The new Cape Fear. It was in the 80s.
It's the newest one, right? De Niro?
Yeah. Yeah.
De Niro, Nick Nolte. Hey, Alan.
It's cold in here.
No, it feels warm because I was outside.
With all the hot air that's about to happen, I'll probably get heated up real quick. Do that face again. You look like your brother when you do that. That's
a horrible thing to say to anyone. Too bad nobody's on. None of the family's on here to see that.
Yeah, where's Sherry lately? Scott and Sherry, where are you?
So we'll get started here in a minute, but first, apologies for. Hey, Taylor and Melissa.
Hi, Taylor, Melissa.
I didn't get a video out yesterday or today. This last one's been a little tough just because of the way the footage worked out. So I've been struggling with it. It's the metal roofing. So there's some good footage. It's just there's not a lot of description, which is fine, but it leaves room for, I probably need to do some voiceovers.
Did you see what your mom said?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, wait, where's Sherry? Did you hear the Dave joke, Mom?
No, I thought she said that I thought that she was saying exactly what I was thinking, that you looked like your brother when you were doing that.
Oh, I hope not. Again, a horrible thing to say to anyone. I thought she meant where's Sherry been? That's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
It could have been to either.
Hey, are we gonna talk about
what
we did last night? Yesterday? Can we say?
I guess.
It's not a secret.
Isn't it?
It was fun.
I don't know.
We had fun last night.
Well, I mean, this happens from time to time. You're talking about meeting Oh, she missed the Dave joke. So I made a face and Pam said I looked like my brother. And I said, that's a horrible thing to say.
Whichever way. He has two brothers, by the way. So
well.
Either way,
horrible. So, what we did last night? Okay, so we met
some new friends.
We actually met them earlier in the week, but
yeah, we met some new friends.
Some potential new neighbors, hopefully.
Through
new neighbors.
Dawn from Affordable Desert Living.
Some folks are visiting. They're looking at land, so they may be neighbors soon, but you never know. I
hope they are.
Looking all around Cochise County, so. They are thinking about something near us, but you never know. So we'll see how it works out. But they're really nice people, and it was nice to meet them.
They're renting a little place and a little Airbnb, and we went over and had some dinner, and it was nice,
real nice.
Thank you for dinner.
Thanks to Don if he's on here. I'm not sure if he's on here yet.
Yeah, Don was there. Melissa and Taylor. It was fun.
But other than that, roof stuff. I guess I did some, and I don't know whether it was the weather or, I did some, so I'll go through, I actually got my to-do list out so I could remember kind of some of the things that I had done. Cause sometimes after a day or two, you're like, what did I do the last couple of days? And you lose track. So, I can't remember if this happened before the last live or if it was about to happen, but I did officially order the windows. The windows are on order. So
yay. They come in March. They don't...
9 windows. Yeah, so far all we've been told is March. They'll give us an estimate when kind of the manufacturer gets a hold of it and kind of, but they said March, which is fine,
Mhm.
whatever. It doesn't matter to us. We're not moving in or anything, so that's fine.
Excuse
And
me.
we'll probably go get the doors around the same time. We're just going to get the doors from a Lowe's or Home Depot or something. So we'll probably do them around the same time. So we should be installing some windows and doors in March, which sounds like, I mean, it's 2 months away on the calendar, but I mean, it's really, it could be just a
No,
4 to 6 weeks or
no,
whatever it could be. So,
there's really only a week
it's
left
really only
in
like a month. Yeah.
January,
So,
and
I
then
mean, since
February's
it's January,
shorter.
it feels like, oh, March is 2 months away, but
No,
it's not quite. So, but I don't know if it's early March, late March. We don't know yet.
I
So,
feel
but they're officially
feel
ordered. I
crooked.
can't remember if that had happened the last time we talked or if I was about to do it, but I did do it. So that was done. That was on my list. I actually changed the oil in our generator. Got to do that every once in a while. So that was something I did. I was going to say that some stuff went a little slow this week because I'm still working on the roof, finishing up the roof, and one of the things for the roof, is the trim, and the trim kind of goes over the fascia board on the side, around the edges. And so I wanted to paint that fascia board to protect it. So I wanted to paint it before I put the trim on. So one of the things I did this week, which took basically 2 days, is I primered it and then I painted it. So it was just a bit of a hassle with a ladder, moving a ladder little by little. I did it with a brush. I did the primer with a brush, and then I did just today. Actually, I did the paint with a roller, which went way better. That was way better. Plus, it had already been primed, so the paint went on a little better. The primer going on bare wood, it kind of soaked it in, and it was hard to get coverage in a lot of spots. So, hey,
Hey,
Dave,
Dave,
good to see you.
David,
Um, and
Christensen,
Julie.
and Julie. Hi.
So anyway, because of that, and that was just a slow task, and you have to let it dry. So that was basically 2 days worth of tasks right there. So it was just really slow because it's high up. I had to move the ladder every time. I could only do kind of an arm's length, and then I move, arm's length, move. So it was really slow.
It
But
looks good.
while I was doing that stuff, I did change the oil in the generator. Yeah, I figured, Warren, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I another kind of cleanup task around here. We use a heater buddy and a little propane heater for inside from time to time. We don't use it a ton, but we use it sometimes. And I do refill those little canisters like that. We just put in the 1 pound canisters into that thing. Some people will hook up a big one by a hose, but we just put the little canisters into it. And when they run out, we keep them. And I do refill them from a bigger propane canister. So I did that during the week. I refilled the propane canisters. I did, like I said, I primered and painted the fascia boards, so I'm now ready for trim. Um, but let's see. I did the last roof panel. I think I had done that before the last time we talked. I cut it, or let me know if I talked about that the last time. I cut it with a circular saw with a metal cutting blade. I don't know if I talked about that, but if you have any questions about that, or if I didn't mention it, let me know.
I moved some tires
Today,
today.
they moved some tires because we just been. I mean,
Awesome,
we.
Arizona.
Hey, Dino.
Hello.
So we brought a bunch of tires up here a while back, right when we were doing the foundation and everything. I brought a bunch of tires up here from our little stash down at the end of our driveway, and that was to use them, and I did use them, and we've used them. I mean, we've used them on to hold the tarps down and stuff like that. So we've been using tires for a while, but
Hmm.
I think we're done with them for a while, and they're just kind of ugly sitting
Sitting
right where they're
around.
at. So Pam's starting to move them off to a different location just to kind of get them out of sight.
Hi, Red and
Um,
April.
Okay, I'll talk about the roof too. Warren said I didn't talk about that last
Um,
panel.
so first read that.
I will.
I
So
wanted.
back to
Oh,
Ben. I wonder if you could build a rocket mass around the trailer, then use propane heat underneath without fear of the carbon monoxide. I
ooh,
don't know. I know a lot of people do these rocket mass heaters. I've seen them, but I
they
haven't
look pretty
researched them
cool.
personally, so I don't know a ton about them. But I know that a lot of people do them. Hey, Red and April. Did you say hi, Red and
I
April?
say.
Okay. So anyway, okay, so I'll talk, what else did you did a little more mulch, I think, since the last time we talked
Yeah,
too,
I did 3
probably.
days of
So that's
removing
good
mulch
because
and
the rain off that roof now kind of makes a mess in that one spot at the low spot of the roof. So Pam's moved some mulch, so that's been nice. Yeah, so the last piece of maybe I hadn't done this the last time we talked, or I was about to do it, I think. So you all might have some of your own thoughts on this, but this is not the first time I had to cut a metal roof because this is our third metal roof. But with our second metal roof, which was the carport, I purposely built it in such a way. And since I was only doing like purlins, it wasn't on top of sheathing or anything. Since I was just doing purlins, and those purlins, my last rafter for that carport kind of hung out in space. I actually kind of had a little flexibility to how I kind of laid it out. So I purposely sized it so that it would be an exact number of panels, and I even waited until I was installing the panels to actually put the last rafter on, just so I would know it would be dead on for that last panel. So I purposely did the carport so I didn't have to cut any metal. So that was nice. Um,
Hi,
hey,
Don.
Don,
Hi,
and
Tom.
Tom,
And Jared.
and Jared. Hey,
And Minerva. I don't know if Minerva's there.
But so I didn't do any metal cutting on the carport by design. And that was a good idea, I think. I did do a tiny bit on the shed. That was my first metal roof, and I hadn't really thought about it, but I think at the time I only had to cut off a little sliver. It just kind of fell that way. There was just a little piece. I think it was really just and I forget how we did it, but I think Bill might have helped me with it. I think Bill might have had a tool or something that we ended up cutting that with. But I can't remember. It's been so long ago. I can't recall. It's probably in my video for the shed roof. But anyway, I did a little bit of research about cutting metal panels because I had to cut this one pretty much in half. The panels are 3 feet wide, and I had to cut it in half down the middle. They're 32 feet long, so I had to make a 32-foot cut down the whole panel. And if anybody out there has ever used tin snips, super pain in the butt, right? Especially down the middle of the panel instead of just cutting off a tiny bit off the edge, right? So I didn't really want to take that on because I've done that before, and it's a huge mistake with friends of ours, Craig and Nikki, who are building down in Bisbee. We actually did some of that on their roof, and cutting a piece with tin snips is just disaster. It's horrible. It looks horrible. It feels horrible. It's bad. Oh, Don thought I was talking about cutting a solar panel in half. So the metal roof panel.
I've just been alerted that there is a police raid at the St. David Post Office.
Yikes! Wow, awesome. So
awesome. Also, Don, I mean, you gotta take a breath every now and then and read something.
I'll get to it. They don't scroll by like super fast. I said
sometimes they are. I mean, when more people start,
thought we were.
I don't know. I think you go a little too long, but no offense, but
I won't talk anymore.
No, I just mean you should like try to. I don't know. Try to condense it a little and then read a comment. Don versus the panels and
Don 2 panel 0. So he's got 2 panels up. Don. Does that mean 2 panels? How many
more panels?
How many are there going to be? I don't remember.
Arthritis.
Read this comment. Gotcha, Dave. Uh-oh. What are you doing, Warren?
Oh boy.
Oh, maybe he's removing something. If you are, thank you. So anyway, I did a little research on cutting panels. Tin snips bad. Don's gonna be doing 8 panels, I see. Oh, score with a 5 and 1 tool and then snap. Interesting. Anyway, this panel's huge, of course.
Warren fell asleep because of your talking. No, you're good. You just kind of out there for a minute.
I knew I didn't want to use tin snips because I've used them before and they're difficult. So I thought about using a cutting wheel on a grinder, which I know people have done. And I thought about using a metal blade on a circular saw. So I did some reading and I talked to some people, and a lot of people say that the circular saw generates too much heat and it'll kind of burn the metal. And what I read online was basically that it does produce a lot of heat and it spins really fast. And what they say is, it'll make a fine cut. Like right when you do it, it'll look fine, but then they say it's really prone to rusting in the future, right? But this particular cut is going to be under, it's the last panel, it's the edge, it's going to be under a piece of trim. So I decided to actually just cut it with the circular saw. And of course, I was on the roof because all the panels were up on the roof already. I didn't want to bring it back down, bring it back up. Again, 32 feet long, they're huge. I couldn't just hang it off the edge and cut it because it would start to sag and bend and all that. So it was interesting. So I had to do it up on the roof. I had to kind of prop it up and run the circular saw down the whole length of it. But I did it and it worked out, I think, fine. So anyway,
do you have to worry about rust?
Yes. So that was the issue. Like I said, because it's going to be covered in trim, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But a friend of mine suggested that if I was worried about it, I could spray it with some sort of like a clear coat type thing or something. But I don't know if I'm even going to worry. I haven't put the trim on yet, so I still could do it. But again, because it's going to be covered in trim, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think it would be more of an issue if you were cutting a spot that was going to be exposed. That would rust pretty bad. So
does that say galvalume?
All of my galvalume cuts are under trim too. Galvalume is a metal roof type.
Spray it with me.
Spray it with Pam. Did I miss anything? Oh, Warren said making it scroll by faster.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that I hadn't done that. I can't remember what day I did that, but maybe I did it after the live last time. So I couldn't remember.
I think it was like
So anyway, that was a big day too. That took a while. And of course, this is all, like I said, bringing all the tools up on the roof. I'm on my knees the whole time. So it was just, and it was a little scary because I'm basically cutting it on top of my other metal panels. So I was worried the whole time that I was either going to burn something or catch, hit something with the saw or whatever. So it was a little scary. So that took a good while. Another thing I did on the roof was I put, at least at the low end, I put the little foam closures in. So yeah, the pitch is definitely mild. I see Dave said, yeah, it's only 1 in 12, so it's a fairly flat roof. I put those little closures in down at the bottom, and that didn't go too bad, even though the panels were already on. You can do it while you install the panels or after the fact. I did it after the fact. I had to take like a screw out so that I could kind of raise the panel a little bit, but it went pretty well. I think I did that yesterday. That was actually a pretty quick job. That was fairly easy. There's another set of closures that go up at the top side under the trim work, but I haven't put the trim work on yet, so those will come later. My roof is Galvalume. Love that stuff. Yeah, good for rainwater harvesting. Yep.
Where'd you see that?
That's Dawn. We bought a sheet metal nibbler. So I can't remember. Nibbler. I'm aware of a nibbler, and I mentioned it in the video. Like, I'm putting that video together now, but it's a little slow. I have either used, I can't remember if I used one, but I'm definitely aware of them, and I think I've seen them used. And yeah, they are nice. That is the way to cut sheet metal. If you've got to cut any length of sheet metal, that's definitely good.
Tom, he's working on a video right now of installing the
metal. Yeah, I'm working on that video right now. The goal was to put it out yesterday. I like to put out videos on Tuesdays so that it has something kind of coming into this, but I didn't get it together. It's a different video. The footage is just different than I'm used to. Pam took most of the footage. Some of it was kind of time lapse because it's a long job, right? Doing all that. And there's some good shots of kind of raising the metal onto the roof and everything, so it's good, but there wasn't a lot of my normal videos are, a little bit of explanation of what I'm doing and stuff, and I didn't really have much of that in there. So I either have to kind of just put some music in, or I might have to do a little voiceover work and stuff, and I don't like to do that stuff. It's hard to figure out how to cut it up. So I'm just having a hard time putting it together, but that will be the next video, is the roofing going on. It might come in 2 parts based on the just the fact that I haven't done the trim yet, and it might just be a little too much footage to show the panels and the trim work. So we'll see. That might come in 2 pieces, that video, but I'm working on it.
I was gonna say something. Wait.
Dawn asked, Brian, could you use a Sawzall with a metal blade if you were pretty skilled? I don't think so. I mean, somebody else might have a different opinion, but the way a Sawzall works, it's the reciprocating saw. It does this, right? So if you put that onto a piece of metal, it's going to want to, you're not going to be able to hold anything still. And I don't see that going very well. That's my personal opinion. Maybe somebody out there could do it, but I don't think that would be a good idea.
I remember what I was going to say now.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I'm trying not to use any of the same footage as you, so that's why I didn't put out any footage of the metal being put on the roof, because I don't want us to be competing with each other.
Yeah, we're trying not to do the same footage. I still think, I mean, some stuff on like Instagram and stuff would be fine, just because
Yeah,
I
I
think
did that.
okay,
I
so
do
because
that.
it's nice for people to see a little sooner what we're working on, because mine tend to run a week or two behind maybe what we're actually doing. Um, I'm waiting for Common Man to say thumbs up to us all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Warren. I see Alan says you can buy a nibbler attachment for your drill. I wasn't aware of that. I had seen some
What
stuff
does that look
about
like?
attachments for a drill. I actually don't know. I read some things about attachments for a drill, but I hadn't seen any pictures, and I didn't hear anybody actually say nibbler. So I didn't know exactly what they were talking about for a drill, but I
That's
did
one
see
of my words
some
that I
people
don't.
talk about nibbler.
That's one of my words that I
Nibble.
don't care for.
Common Man says I'm eating.
Where I'm eating. Oh, you missed
'Cause,
Red in April.
yeah,
Our
I'll
whole
get to it.
house will be covered in metal
Metal
sheeting.
sheeting, just got it ordered today from
Mueller.
Mueller. When you say our
Mueller?
whole house, do you mean you're gonna do, like, walls and all, with metal? That's interesting.
Oh, Sherry and Malin are here.
Hey, Sherry. Hey,
Hello.
Dad and Malin.
Dad and Malin.
Dawn
And
enjoyed your
Scott.
tour of the trees.
Yeah, somebody else told me they didn't like that video, but
It's not
that's okay. You
that was
don't
a
have
different
to.
one. It was artsy. It was
Oh,
artsy.
hi,
Oh, there's Cynthia.
Cynthia. Oh, Cynthia, do you go by Cindy or
Oh,
Cynthia?
you should do more cooking videos.
I
That's a
love
good
it when you
idea.
put out.
That's true.
Oh, thank you.
Those
You
are good. You
know,
should. But
I
she's always making the
will.
same stuff.
I I will put out some. Uh-oh, I forgot to close the blinds. I will do
I'm just
that, but a lot of times when I've done that, they don't get a lot of views, but that's okay.
I think that was everything I've checked off on the to-do list. I just wanted to make sure I hit all the things I took care of. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it was nice to take care of some little things like the oil in the generator I'd been putting off for a while. Um, Something else on there I'd put off for a while. So it's not the propane bottles, so it's nice to kind of catch up on some stuff. Whole house with sheet metal. It's different. The exterior siding and roof, so a nibbler will be nice.
Oh,
Absolutely.
so Red and April are doing their
That's what it sounds
outside
like.
of their house
That's
with
what it
sheet
sounds
metal?
like. That's what it sounds like.
Wow. Well,
Sawzall with very fine blade is okay. Interesting. I would think if you tried to use a Sawzall, I would think the big issue would be holding your workpiece, your metal still, because the action of a Sawzall and the teeth, are going to want to pull that metal constantly back and forth. So I think if you got something to hold it really steady, maybe, but I don't think that's the right tool for that job, but maybe.
cooking trees. I understood what Tom meant, but it sounds funny. Like, I think he meant cooking and
Control of
trees,
the work,
just
yeah.
talking.
Probably will conduct temperature too
Thank
well. Might need
you.
some insulation component to it. I assume he's talking about the metal on the walls. That's the first thing I think about with metal on the walls is heat. So I haven't. I know Red in April went away from the what's the name of the aircrete, right?
Yeah.
But
It seems like they haven't put a
I'm
video
not
out in a
sure
while.
what the new solution is. So I'm wondering what's behind the metal.
Oh, I know what
Anyway,
I was gonna say. I'm sorry, I keep
go ahead.
like zoning out and then I remember what I'm gonna say.
Ah!
I was thinking about you had said maybe we could use some metal on around the windows, or maybe on the
Yeah.
inside even.
As a matter of fact, I'm very interested in what Red Neighbor come up with because, just for us as an aesthetic, right? Either inside or outside, we're talking about trying to kind of break up the plaster, the earthen plaster, with maybe a little bit of metal, maybe a little bit of pallet wood, just for a different look and everything. But I'm concerned, not concerned. I just need to understand if we're going to do that. I need to understand how that's going to perform when it comes to water, moisture moving through the walls and stuff like that. So I'm interested in what Red and April are doing behind that metal because I'm very hesitant to put metal on the outside because I'm afraid of what might happen moisture wise. So I still would like to do it, but I'll
you're
have to
getting
understand.
behind.
Yeah, I'm
Getting
gonna.
behind. Jared had a.
Jared says, outside working on my trash recycling, I heard some say views. Just curious on what your most viewed video is.
I just
That's a
got
joke.
that.
He knows what our most viewed video is. Our most viewed video is the
Jared's
roof
in it.
on the shed, and Jared just happens to be in it.
Did you read the one about probably will conduct temperature too well?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was talking about just now.
Oh, you were?
Because I think the same thing when I hear metal on the walls. I think of heat, so I'm curious.
My brain is running about 2 minutes behind what you're saying.
So faster than normal.
Or 2 hours.
So you're really sharp tonight.
I'm having my brain is
Pam
slow.
Cook some trees. Inner bark of cottonwood is good. Don's probably eating some trees, I'll bet. He's lived in the wilderness a bit.
Yeah.
David says, we're finally getting our build going.
Oh.
Had to have our road graded today, so concrete trucks can get here.
Wow.
Oh, because you're going to have a lot of concrete trucks. You're still doing ICF, I assume, right? So that's, yeah.
Our road is terrible.
And I know you guys spent some time on a well, I believe. So I know, yeah.
Somebody dropped the ball on that one.
Sawzall, Warren says, Sawzall sucks cutting long runs of metal. I would think so. That I would not recommend that. Oh, Warren, yeah. So Warren has experience on a shipping container. So we're using Wilcox rock and sand for all our concrete work. All right. I haven't really done any concrete. What little I've done, I've mixed up myself. So if it's okay to ask, are you in McNeil area?
They are right
Desert Living is asking
behind
David.
the mountain from us.
David is really close to us.
They actually have a YouTube channel. It's JCDC in the AZ,
right?
But I don't think they've put a video out.
They've had a couple of false starts, but we'll see. Maybe they'll get back in there. Red and April say low maintenance and real strong. We're putting foam sheets behind the metal and over the studs. Yeah. All right.
It's Brian Stern. Brian Stern.
My question to Red and April, is condensation an issue? You know, when the the heat and cold, that's what I would worry about, water building up kind of on one side. So those are the kinds of things I think about.
We're getting we're getting
so let's catch
here.
up. So David says a stone's throw away from Brian and Pam. Yep.
Dreaming
Brian says shed build is most viewed. Yeah, he knows that. That was it.
Are the prices going to fur the metal roof for airflow?
I'm not even sure what that means, David. I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know it.
I do know what you mean. You mean furring strips to kind of set it up off the roof. I guess I'd never heard it kind of used as a verb, but I think I get what you're saying. You could put furring strips on top of the sheathing, roof sheathing, to give it a little gap to let air move. The answer is no.
Helene is here.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Hélène.
She's speaking French already. So yeah, David, we haven't done that. To tell you the truth, I didn't even think about it, and I'm not sure if it's necessary. I didn't do it on the shed. Of course, the shed doesn't have any insulation, but no, we did not do that. Dreaming Tree Homestead and Retreats. That's a new one I haven't seen.
Hi there.
I'm trying to scroll up. I heard metal is very bad for straw bale. Lime plaster would be your best bet. Oh, you mean like on walls? Sure. If you're looking for something to break up the stucco look, what about a stone trim near the foundation? We probably are going to do some stone around the foundation. If nothing else, just kind of piled. But I don't know about actually kind of building it in, but maybe. Yeah, I do worry about putting metal over the bales. I worry about condensation. So
I got some texts from Hélène.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm from Texas. I can't.
David scratched the well. It got really expensive. Interesting. So Elaine said, "Hi guys."
The well.
I said you were doing a well. I guess they didn't do it. They didn't decide. They decided not to do it.
They scratched the well. Again, I'm trying to read, and so when you're talking, I'm reading, and I don't hear what you're saying.
Well,
and
you
then
told me to catch up. I'm trying to catch up. Alan says the closed-in shops we've built with metal had 1.5-inch foam, closed cell foam between the purlins. Then insulate the wall with that insulation. Okay. Would never do well unless one of my subscribers gave me a super big financial gift. I mean, I don't know. Wells are fine, but it's I think of rainwater collection. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of work to it, but not a lot. Um, I think of it kind of like solar. It's like, I mean, it comes from the sky. It's there. If you don't use it, I don't know. It seems like you're wasting something. So I just like the idea of rainwater collection. Now, I'll admit I haven't lived off of rainwater yet, so we'll see.
Oh,
But
it's Julie. I just saw it.
JCDC and the AZ would never do well. Okay, so I'm trying to catch up. Oh, it was. I'm sorry. It was Don speaking, or they spoke French back and forth. Don and Hélène.
And Phil. Hi, Phil. Phil's there too.
Oh, David says squirrel because that's you.
Yeah, apparently there was some excitement over at the post office, and
oh yeah, yeah.
But since we were doing this, I just.
Jared says he's available
I
for
got
guest
distracted.
appearances. Anyone that has a channel. It's me, Julie, Dreaming Tree Homestead and Retreats.
I just said that.
Oh. Well, when you said Julie, I hadn't gotten down that far. I thought of Julie of David and Julie.
That's what I thought. That's who I thought it was.
Oh, no. I just said it's me, Julie, came from Dreaming Tree Homestead and Retreats. Unless
I thought she means it's Dave and Julie.
I don't.
Julie,
I didn't read it that way.
Julie, are you the Julie from JC? In the DC.
So Warren said closed cell spray foam eliminates condensation issues. I did not know that. That's interesting. I still haven't made the decision because we haven't gotten there yet whether I'll go closed or open cell. We'll be doing some spray foam for our ceiling, our roof, under our roof. So I haven't done the research on closed cell. But that's interesting. Dawn says to Jared, I'm going to try live chat when I reach 7,000. You would be welcome.
So Jared will go over to Don's and do the live with him.
David said rainwater is awesome. David is using rainwater. So yeah, again, I guess it's personal preference, but to me, I think it's silly not to use the sun, especially in Arizona, because there's just so much. I also think it's a little silly not to use the rain, but if you have a well, that's one thing. We have a well. And if you want a well, that's fine. But it just seems to me like it seems like a waste of resources if you don't use the rain. That's just my opinion. But
Julie Belton, am I okay? I'm sorry. I was confused
from
because
a Facebook group.
There's Dave and Julie.
That's not Dave and Julie.
Julie that lives out by Jim and Jessica.
I need your close open cell foam research when I get to that stage in our build. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly when we'll do that. I mean, the roof is on, but I don't know exactly when we'll get to foaming the roof. But that will be a step along the way here, and I'll do that research. So I just haven't done it yet.
I believe Julie has a YouTube channel as well.
Oh well, probably Dreaming Tree Homestead and
Retreats.
I'll bet she does.
Yeah, and I think she's doing a lot. She's doing it. I think she was doing it pretty much by herself.
Dino says open cell will leak some moisture. Now, when it comes to as far as open cell versus closed cell, if that's true, fine. Closed cell would avoid moisture, whereas open cell would allow some moisture. I don't think that's necessarily an issue for our roof because it's metal roof, underlayment, a synthetic underlayment, which is kind of also a water barrier, then sheathing. Then underneath all of that will be foam from the inside. So I don't think we'll be getting water inside. I mean, the material that's on the roof should keep it dry underneath. So and even that transfer of, I mean, it shouldn't. I guess what I'm saying is it shouldn't even sweat like our carport sweats underneath because it's just a piece of metal. So when it gets cold under and hot above, it sweats and it drips. But I don't think that'll be an issue on our roof. Now that's might be different if we're talking about metal on walls and things like that. But I still will do the research on the open versus closed, and I haven't made a decision yet. But
Alan says I'm switching to rainwater.
Tastes better. Huh?
I hope it's better on my hair.
I love our well water, I'll say, to drink. Of course, we filter it through the Berkey, but our well water tastes fantastic, I'll say.
But my hair it does.
Yeah.
It's something weird going on with my hair and the water. It's like really has a lot of or it's hard water.
Don also said closed cell is the best to ward off any moisture. Banker Insulation told me.
Mm.
So I don't doubt that, but again, I would hope that's not really a concern in my particular application up against the roof because there shouldn't be any moisture in there anyway. I could literally leave it uninsulated and it shouldn't be wet. I mean, it would let a lot of, it wouldn't do great temperature wise, but I don't think it should be in danger of getting wet. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for us. I could be mistaken, but I think there are other reasons to go with closed versus open. I think it might insulate better, but I need to do that research in the future. But that's interesting. I didn't know about the moisture thing between the two. Jared said would be great. I love keeping up with Brian and Pam and seeing the way the off-grid community comes together for help suggestions for each other. Yeah, Jared, if it weren't for us, I'm sure Jared wouldn't necessarily be watching this stuff, but I think he finds it interesting since he knows. I'm asking the whole group for advice, Dave says. Yeah, I will be too. When we get to that point, I'll be asking, but I'll do a bunch of I'll do a bunch of reading too. I just haven't gotten there. Open cell is not a moisture barrier, I believe you. Correct, just for insulation. Not sure. So Jared says, not sure it's the water that's giving you that shot out of a cannon.
That's what my hair looks like. So shot out of a cannon. Oh.
Don says, Brian, as you know, under my roof is all open cell. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. And it's not like it's wet. I guess it depends on the application, right? If that application we're going to get some moisture, then maybe that would be a reason to go closed cell. So Ben says, yeah, well, Ben says, do you need to worry about moisture? I thought the climate was so dry to make it negligible. Sort of, but the temperature changes because we're high desert. The temperature changes we get. We don't have to worry about a lot of moisture from rain, except for in the monsoon, which we do get a good bit. Some of the moisture we have to worry about is like condensation. Some of the moisture we're talking about is just and it can be as simple as, when you close a building up, I mean, it can be as simple as, breath and temperature differences, that can cause a little bit of moisture to travel through things and whatnot. But a biggie out here is, for example, the carport that I've talked about. When that metal roof, because there's really nothing under it, just air, when that metal roof gets cold and then the sun hits it in the morning, it will literally just drips down below from the condensation. So condensation can be an issue for sure. But again, it all depends on what application we're talking about. It can be different for walls and ceilings and depending on, what you've done under your metal. Like for example, on my roof, like I've got the underlayment, that's kind of like house wrap in a sense, right? To let the water get out. So it just depends, but we have more moisture than you would think, but we also do get a lot of drying time as well. So that's fair. Yeah, so Warren said it while I was talking there. Just cooking and breathing creates a ton of moisture. Yeah, you don't think about those things, but that is a real thing. Just your breath and stuff. Just there's moisture in a home, and it needs to kind of move in and out, and that's why they say walls need to be breathable and things with the bales and all that, because you don't want to trap moisture in the walls. It's not all about rain necessarily, right? There's more sources of moisture than that. Oh, we're short on thumbs up, y'all. Thanks, Tom.
You know what's funny? I never get texts. I never get texts all day. I never get it. Well, I get a couple.
David said for the well, we did the math and we figured we could get 150 plus water deliveries for the same cost. So we allocated that money for the build. I don't blame you. I mean, again, I would need a pretty strong reason to get a well. Now, we had a well when we moved here, and I'm glad we did. But I think you got to have a good reason. If you're starting from scratch, I think you got to have a really good reason to dig that well, because again, water falls from the sky. So, but
Matt Reisinger has a good video.
Oh, I'll bet he does. Matt Reisinger has a lot of good videos. He's a builder. He's a builder.
Oh.
He did a thing, by the way, I watched one recently. He did a thing on metal roofs, and he builds in Texas. And I watched it because it was about metal and color, right? So a lot of people, I think it was myths. It was myths about metal roofs.
Did you read Don's?
I haven't gotten down far enough yet, but.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
I would be over 100.
As a 60
before a well paid off.
Over 100.
Yeah, you got to do that math about kind of return on investment type stuff, right? But yeah, Yeah, Matt Reisinger did a great video on color of metal. Well, that was just one of the myths he busted about metal roofs. He does a lot of metal roofs. He's a custom home builder in Texas. And one of the myths was, aren't metal roofs hot? And especially if you go darker colors. And he has a black roof on his house, a black metal roof on his house in Texas. So one of the myths was they don't have to be hot because there are a lot you can do with paints. The characteristics of the paints can actually reflect a lot of that heat. So anyway, he does a lot of good videos. So let me try and catch up again.
Catch up here.
See 14. Ascension Ranch, Brian. It depends on what
hi, Eric.
heat source you're using. Open cell is for propane. Closed cell is for dry heat, is what I was told from a spray foam contractor. Interesting. All right. Good to know. Affordable living says to Warren, that makes sense. When I'm cooking,
That's
I'm heavy
darn.
breathing, hoping it will turn out well. Yeah, people forget about how much moisture is created just by breathing. Also, if you've watched one of our videos in the past, you'd be surprised how much body heat is created, right? So we got burned using our solar and our air conditioner when we first set up the solar. We ran our batteries down to nothing because we didn't realize how much body heat is created. We had a handful of people in here, and our air conditioner worked way harder than we thought, and we killed our batteries. So yeah, body heat, moisture.
Wow. Dave says they've only had 2 water deliveries and the rest was rain.
Well, because Dave's got a nice big metal shed that he's collecting a lot of water off of. So yeah, that's good.
We got 2 big things out there now. So
I think we'll be good.
Thank you, Brian Stern. He says
Ham's over 800. Yeah.
It's getting there.
Dave said, and once the house is built, 2,400 square feet, we'll get a huge tank, 10 to 15,000. Oh yeah. What are the Dave? I think you have 1 or 2. Did he say he had 1 or 2 tanks? I can't remember. I can't remember if you have 1 or 2 tanks, Dave, and how big it is right now.
I thought he had 2 tanks.
The Build Show. That's Matt Reisinger. That's what he calls his kind of show. I just watched that Reisinger a few hours ago on metal roofs. Yeah, it was a good video. It was a real good video.
He insulated the heck out of it.
I'm sure he did. One of the problems with some of Matt Reisinger's videos, he does a lot of product review type stuff. And I'm sure he talks about a lot of super cool products, but most of them are not cheap. So just be aware. He gives great information, but a lot of the stuff he talks about is not cheap.
Every time I watch him, my build cost goes up.
So just be aware if you watch some of his great information, but there's money there. So he's a custom home builder, and I'm sure he doesn't build cheap stuff. So Don, 200 square foot of roof space. Yep. I'm sure you are a miser with the water, dog.
So are we.
We are too, I think. We do really well.
Yes.
Oh, he has 3 tanks. I didn't realize. 2 2,500s and a 5,000. Wow. Have you always had that? I don't remember you having that many. Okay, 200 square feet.
3
Did I
tanks.
catch up? Matt is a great source of information. Build cost goes up. Yep. There you are, Warren. Thanks. Okay, I think I got caught up. Navy showers? Oh, we take Navy showers. Yeah. You know what a Navy shower is?
Like the bird bath?
What's
Navy showers?
It's turning the water off. Basically, you get wet, you turn the water off. You soap up, you turn the water off. Yeah.
That's exactly
I believe that's what a Navy shower is. My dad should know that. We got the 2 2,500s first, then added the 5K last year. I don't remember seeing the 5K. That might be since we've been there.
What part of the build are you most proud of so far? I want to guess. I'm guessing
I have an answer.
Say the roof.
No.
The walls.
No. Although
the tire foundation.
That's a tough one. That's like saying which kid do you like the best?
Not really.
It's probably
the tire foundation
because it's a no-brainer. Not really. If I had to pick, of course I'm proud of it all, and the walls were a big deal, but the foundation. Assuming that it continues to perform, because the foundation we kind of came up with sort of out of nowhere. I've never seen another example like it, even on YouTube or whatever. So it took us a long time to come up with that. I think it was pretty ingenious the way we came up with the connections and whatnot. And so far it's performing really well. So, and almost $0. I mean, really not very much money in that. There's a lot of sweat in it, but there's not a lot of money in it. I am really proud of that foundation so far, at least.
I hope it, hopefully it holds up.
Yeah, I think I do. I've already said I do have to sort of back it up with some more dirt. I hope you understand what that means. You don't want to just stop at the tires basically, because that's an area that they could erode away. That dirt could kind of start to seep out of there with a lot of water and things. But I think if you back it up with more dirt, which we're going to, and I should have done it already, but I'm going to, I think if you push more dirt back up against it, I don't think those things are going anywhere. If they are the edge of the whole thing, then yeah, they could probably give a little bit.
Very solid.
But if you back them up with more dirt, which we're going to, I think so. If I had to pick, that would be the thing I'm most proud of, because I think it was ingenious coming up. I mean, it wasn't all my own idea. That was with a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and I think that was a really neat way to go about it.
Yeah,
so
you've done a great job.
So that's why I like that the best. But the walls were a big deal. I mean, everything's a big deal at this point. Everything that makes it look more like a house. But glad we hit it this last monsoon season. Oh, his rain. Yeah, I'm sure he got a ton of rain.
I use my free kiddie pool made in Mexico to splash in once the cowboy shower has stopped and poured into the pool.
Rubber ducky.
Oh, Don, you're funny.
Don said, Brian, will you run a drainage area around the base of your foundation? You know, we haven't.
It does sound cold.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of issue with water kind of running around our foundation, just because the way our land kind of works.
It runs downhill.
I have considered, and we sort of built up on the slope of our land. It's just a very gradual slope, but we kind of built up the flat spot. So I don't think water's really going to kind of do a whole lot around our foundation, but I have considered sort of trenching a little bit, or even just kind of swales, right? Just to kind of help the water go around the house as opposed to up against it. But I'm not too concerned about it, but I probably will do a little bit to sort of try and direct the water around. But our land actually stays, the inner part of our land, even during some heavy rains, actually stays fairly dry or dries out pretty quickly afterwards. It's the edges where we have the wash and whatnot that it can get pretty ugly. But I probably will do something to sort of protect the foundation, but I don't think it's going to get hit real hard by a lot of water, even in some of our worst storms. So
I bet that is cold when Don takes a shower out there. Unless you're probably wait until the afternoon when the sun's beating down.
David says, I haven't been over to your place lately. How are you fixed for drainage around the house? That's the same question. I'm going to have issues with my solar panel mounts if I don't move some dirt. Really? I don't know. Like I said, I think we're fine. Our land, the main part of our land, well, it used to kind of sheet off pretty good. Like the water would just kind of run off. It wouldn't really pool in a lot of places. It wouldn't run like a river in a lot of places. At the edge of the land, it definitely does. But on the main kind of inner part of the land, not too bad. And since we've added the mulch, in all but the worst of storms, the mulch really kind of acts as a sponge and just kind of holds most of the water, and the water doesn't really move around. It just kind of hits. So
it's a lot better.
So obviously we've got overhang all around the thing. So if water comes straight down, it won't really be getting around the foundation that much. Obviously some wind will happen, so it will come in a little. We're going to do some rock around the base of the foundation to kind of just try and break up water either falling off the roof or coming in from the side, to just kind of disperse the water a little bit with like chunk rock around the base. We think we're going to do sort of both aesthetics and functional, to kind of disperse that water so that it doesn't just drive into that foundation.
We do get mulch from Sierra Vista.
So I think we're okay drainage wise. I'm not sure, David, what's your issue with your solar panel mounts? Do you have water kind of run towards a spot? But I think we're okay. Again, I could be crazy, but I think we're all right.
Was that your foot?
Yeah, that was me.
Noises.
That was me. David said, did you get that mulch from Sierra Vista?
Said yes.
We sure did. Oh yeah, yeah. And we brought some to Dawn too.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the Sierra Vista mulch?
Well, you get a free pair of underwear every now and then, or a hypodermic needle.
It kind of depends on what you're using it for, right? I mean, for what we're using it for, it's great. It is dirty. I mean, it has some junk in it, right? Like she said, you can find some really weird things.
You just have to
it is pretty junky, but for what we're using it for, it's great. If you wanted to use it for something nicer, I mean, they do sell a screened mulch that
Yes,
you
they
can
do.
pay for, but we get the free mulch, and for what we're doing with it, it's great. It's great. Water is running under the panel mounts. Okay, yeah. Oh, we don't have any really, again, other than the parts of our land that we've talked about, which um, the wash and the ravine down the other side, where we get massive potential damage, right, from the water. The rest of our land, the inner part of our land, it really handles water really well. I think it's nice that we have a gentle slope because it
Hmm.
tends to run, and the mulch really is that sponge. So yeah, David, if you haven't already, I suggest taking advantage of some of that mulch. It can really solve a lot of water problems. It also, by the way, makes your soil way better. The soil gets so much softer and so much healthier, and rather than just that
Whatever,
rock hard.
whatever it is doing, it's doing really well.
I heard I heard it's processed in sewer sludge, but that may be the compost or just lies. I'm not
it
sure.
it's composted. I
Again,
don't.
for us, it's just ground cover. It's just an
Yeah,
alternative to mud, basically. When we get rain, this place would turn into a lot of mud, and we don't have like 40 acres or whatever, right? So we can cover a good portion of our land with it. So it's great for us. It kind of depends on
I
what you want to use
usually
it
just
for.
go around and pick up the big pieces of,
Yeah.
if there's
After we
plastic,
spread
or
it, we'll just little by little pull out some of the bigger uh,
sometimes
trash
water bottles
pieces.
and
Oh yeah, lots
lids,
of water
lots
bottles,
of plastic,
gloves,
little pieces of
because it
plastic.
comes, a lot of it I'm
Yeah.
sure comes from landscaping.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
they get
gloves and
tossed in
stuff.
by accident.
So Don said I'm going to be doing rainwater harvesting off of my solar panels for watering greenery. Yeah, I mean, if you do the panels
Oh,
right,
yeah.
I don't know if that means Don. We haven't talked about this, Don. I don't know if you're kind of butting them up to each other or whatever, but I thought about that too, but I didn't know how to get kind of all the water rather than maybe coming down between the panels, or so I guess I'm sure there's several different ways to kind of handle that, but I don't actually collect off of our panels, but I know you can.
I had to
Um,
put a load around. Is that where you are?
yeah,
I got a load to
I
put.
got a load to put around my solar panels to cut down on the grass growing.
Mhm.
Sure. I think I got a free carpet too. I deal with mulch and sewer sludge. It comes out as compost with Alan. Dawn, once the mulch is
Nice.
thrown up all over the place, Pam picks up the big piece.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I do. It
um,
gives me a job to do.
when do we see part 3 of the solar panel? Yeah, Dawn's done 2 parts on his solar panel build so far. I'd capture that way too, but I noticed I didn't get mine super tight against each other. I almost put our panels tight up against each other. As a matter of fact, when I was putting them on, I did kind of put them tight together. But then I thought of, and I think I might have researched as well, and just I think there can be some expansion contraction. I think it was you know, kind of frowned upon in the solar world to try and butt them together.
Hmm.
I don't know. I might have been overly cautious there, but I was worried about really butting them up to each other to try and get the rain to come off like a flat roof or whatever.
Well, maybe he could just put
But because I don't know if
5-gallon
there's
buckets or something and collect
I don't
some
know if there's
water out of.
expansion contraction there. If you need a special kind of edge on your solar panel so that it doesn't. I don't know. I would think it'd be hard to keep them nice and tight with temperature changes and whatnot. Things expand and contract and bend and whatnot. So I would think it'd be hard to keep those real tight so that they'd act like a roof. But I don't know. You probably can. I haven't done that research. Warren says he's buffering out a little bit. Uh-oh. Yeah, I actually purposely left some gaps in mine. It was a small gap, but it's there, and it was for movement. Um, so that'll be coming up soon for Dawn. We're getting close to the end here, so
Mhm.
throw out whatever you want there. Hopefully we're keeping up. If I missed anything, throw it out there again.
Alan says, I inspect sewer
Oh,
plants in West Virginia.
oh, interesting. It's very
Wow.
good from the right facility.
Ah.
Ben says maybe some thin plastic sheeting over all the panels. Don't know if that would reduce their solar absorption. I don't know either. I mean, I know, they treat solar panels as roofs in parking lots and whatnot. Now they're not. I don't think they're interested necessarily in catching rain, but I'm sure that panels are used like roofs probably even to catch rain. I just don't know if you have to do anything special or know anything special, or there has to be something special about the panels to make that work so that the water actually runs down all of them rather than kind of dropping in between. But anyway, I'm curious about that. Uh, Dawn says I better read up on putting panels too close to each other then. Yeah, I think I did some reading on it because, like I said, I was pushing mine close together just because I thought it was a good look. And then in my own mind, and again, I think I researched, it's been a while,
I want a
but
beer.
I ended up leaving a little gap. And I think it was because of, and I think even if you do butt them up to each other over time, even your mount itself from temperature changes and whatnot is probably going to do a little bit of shifting. Maybe the wood tweaks a little bit. Over time, I doubt you're going to be able to keep those things actually really tight against each other. So I don't know if there's just a lot of special work that goes into making them usable for rainwater collection. I'm not sure. I'm sure it can be done, but I don't know what it takes to make it happen. So buffering out. Oh, David is too. A couple people are. I hope it's not us.
No, well, we're going to wrap up here.
Yeah, we're pretty close to done, y'all. Maybe he can inspect your mulch, Alan. So Brian says, post-truss work. Could you have made those yourself? Well, I mean,
it would have taken him a year.
In theory, you can make most things yourself.
He could have.
Yes, but realistically, I wouldn't want to. That brings up another point that your brother, Brian, always bugs me about. When I was talking about windows, I was talking about different glasses. I was talking about different sizes. Some of them were, I was playing around with sizes in that upper because it was kind of an afterthought, that upper area where I ended up putting 3 real small ones that are kind of like bathroom windows. Craig said, he said, you should make your own. Yeah, in theory, I could make my own windows. Is it a good idea? Is it realistic? Maybe not. So, yeah. Could I have made the trusses? Sure. Would it have been a good idea? Maybe not.
No.
So, yeah.
It would have taken too long.
Even though they aren't,
he would have done a great job.
The particular trusses that we have are fairly simple. They're about as simple as trusses get.
Yes.
It's still just, it's a big job. So I'm happy we did. Let's say I'm happy we did it that way.
It would have put us way too far out.
Yeah. Jared, I think the gaps are good for monsoon and high winds to avoid the wind force.
Good point.
That's another thing. Yeah, the tighter you butt those up, the more they act like a sail, basically, right?
So I remember
those are all things to think. That might have been another thing in my head when yeah. So letting that wind, that's a lot of force on those things if they really are like a wall for the wind to hit. So that's something to keep in mind, Dawn.
Dawn, I could make my
good
own
point, Jared.
Toilet. Will I? Probably not.
Buffering is alcohol related.
I want a beer now. You got me craving a beer.
It's better than the last cable modem. We're still happy with our T-Mobile home internet. We're doing great with it. I think it is very geographical, so I don't suggest it to everybody. I think the kind of phone-based internet systems are very susceptible to your geography. So, I mean, I guess everything is, but yeah, I know, for example, that T-Mobile didn't work well for us other places in the past. So, but we're happy with it here.
Are we gonna wrap it up?
Sure.
We're gonna try to wrap up.
Toilet. Will I? Probably not. Good point, Don. I quit a year ago, so maybe I'm post buffering. Oh, I pick up some things on occasion with my city lifestyle. Yeah, Jared knows from hearing me talk. Maybe, yeah. So that might have been one of the reasons that I actually left those gaps. Now that you mention it, Jared, I think there might have been a wind concern there as well by putting those too close together. So that's something to think about, Don, for sure.
Are we gonna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Did you have something to say?
Oh no, I was noticing that it looked like I was boss-eyed. Have you ever heard boss-eyed? It looks like my eyes are crossed. Are they?
I don't think so.
Oh wow, I'm blind. I'm going.
Anyway, that's probably going to do it, everybody. Good conversation, some good questions out there. Thanks for stopping by as always.
They made Red and April made their own roof beams.
They look pretty cool. Our first video of them is coming out tomorrow. Awesome.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Some of you will know that because of
it's time.
It is before the monsoon, we got some truss quotes and they were insanely high. And we were real close to doing our own rafters, let's say, right? And we would have kind of gone halfway across and had
A
a
beam.
beam going across the middle of the house that the rafters, one rafter, two rafters meet on the beam. So we almost did that, and I would have been okay with doing it, and we could have done it. But when the prices came down a little bit, I feel very comfortable with the trusses that we got. I'm okay with the price. A
I
while ago they
wonder
would have been cheap. A couple of years ago they would have been a lot cheaper.
I
Oh
wonder if
well.
their roof beams are gonna
Um,
be like the ones in the Earth ships. What do they call those?
Vigas.
The
Vigas.
vigas. It's
Viga
like
is
a
really
piece of
just, I
it's
think,
like a big
Spanish
log.
for kind of a big
Big
log
log
beam.
type thing.
But roof beams, if you do them for aesthetics and obviously they're functional, they can look really cool. They can add a lot to a look of a place. Um, David said, "Hey, forgot we got the best truss bid from Southwest. Got them lined up now.
That's where we
That's where we
went.
got ours.
Yep.
That's where Bill got his. That's where Warren got his. So,
Thank you,
um,
Tom. You're very sweet.
thanks, Tom. Yeah, so yeah, we by far the best
Yeah.
bid was from Southwest.
Mhm.
And we're perfectly happy with the trusses. Warren pointed out there are spots on the trusses where some of the wood is a little, it doesn't
Shoddy.
look like the greatest wood, but I just looked at it as now Warren did have one big issue, maybe at a kind of a connection point. I thought,
Yeah.
and he ended up kind of sistering a piece of wood up against it to help it.
Sistering.
But where ours didn't look pretty, um, I in all of the spots that we had kind of some not pretty wood, I didn't think it affected the kind of the functionality of them, the strength of them. So I didn't think it was too big of a deal. It's the first set of trusses I've ever built or bought, so I don't really know. I don't have anything to compare them against, but I think they're fine. So delivery went well and all that. So,
Thanks, Dino. I know you're
but good for you, David.
I've got this one like piece of hair that keeps like driving me insane.
As you
It won't
probably
go into
know,
my thing.
David, there's a pretty good lead time on them. So yeah, you do kind of want to get ahead of that. So especially for yours, I'm sure yours are going to be bigger and more of them than ours. So that'll be a
All right.
bigger job for them. So it'll take a little time. Oh,
Okay,
sorry,
I'm
everybody.
ready.
We're pushing past an hour. Thanks again, everybody, for coming.
It's chilly in
Sorry I
here.
missed yesterday for a video, but we'll get one out by next week.
And Dave, you guys
It'll be
are
roof related.
welcome to come by sometime.
Congratulations, guys, on getting into your build.
Yeah, just shoot us a text or something.
And we'll get together sometime soon.
we're
I'd like to
here.
see what you've done over there, and you guys are always welcome to come see what we've done over here. So
Yeah, and
keep in
thank you,
touch.
everyone. We appreciate it.
Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, y'all. Have a good week.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.